Now for what's tipping the scales of justice, new developments in the OnlyFans model murder case. These developments have put the focus back on the defendant, Courtney Clenny, and her parents, Kim and Deborah Clenny. These are their mugshots. They were arrested and booked in Texas on Tuesday, both accused of unauthorized access to a computer in Miami, Florida. And investigators believe that that computer belonged to their daughter's boyfriend, Christian Abumseli. He is the deceased in that homicide case in which their daughter is charged. Now, after the Clenny parents' arrest, Courtney Clenny's attorney, Frank Prieto, released this statement saying in part, quote, "We believe the Clenny family has been targeted with some trumped up charges to discredit them in the press and make their lives miserable. It stinks of a power play by prosecutors to control the narrative," end quote. Now, we got that statement before we received the information that then Courtney Clenny was hit with the same charges as her parents. So how will these new charges affect Clenny's case ahead of her pending homicide trial? We have a very special guest we're pleased to welcome in. He is the attorney representing the family of Christian Abumseli, attorney Michael Haggard. Michael, good morning to you. Thank you for coming on Opening Statements.
Good morning.
Michael, could we start please with what you know, to the best of your knowledge, that occurred with this computer that belonged to Christian that investigators are alleging the Clennys were trying to access?
Absolutely. I don't think there's much doubt. I mean, it's Christian's computer. Courtney's parents gained access to it, either with her or without. We don't know, because as we know, she was not arrested for 4 months. But there's no question in the arrest warrant, which is very detailed, that they were trying to access it for some time, that they were continually talking about how they were going to get in with the code, and they were going to access his computer, which, as we know, is absolutely against the law, especially in light of a murder. This could be crucial evidence that they never shared with the prosecution, and they eventually broke into it looking for evidence, and until they were caught, never brought it to the light of day.
This is really something. While this was going on, I'm curious, Michael, were any of Christian's family members trying to get that laptop back?
Absolutely. Larry Hanfield, my co-counsel in the case, have been communicating with the family, with their lawyers, about giving back all his possessions. Obviously, we weren't, because that apartment was in her name. The family, the Abumseli family, the victim's family, was not allowed in the apartment to gain his possessions, get everything. So there were several items that they were trying to get that were very important to them. Their son was murdered. And just to gain access to get these things back, and the laptop was one of them. And, I really applaud the state attorney's office and the police for following up on this, because, as you said in your opening, this turns the focus back on the victim. And that should never be the case. The focus should always be on the victim. But the defense here has played a game of trying to spin this and make Christian out to be this monster and Courtney a victim. And we see what they've been doing post her arrest, post the murder, as she fled for 4 months. And now it extends, unfortunately, to the whole family. I mean, it's almost like an organized crime family that's trying to cover things up. And it's very shameful, and we applaud the prosecutors for following up on this.
Michael, tell me what the Abumseli family reaction was to this news of the Clennys being arrested and Courtney Clenny being hit with new charges.
You would think it would be good news, because I think it certainly is for the criminal case. It shows evidence of guilt, of that guilty mind. But it just re-victimizes them again. I mean, they lost their son. There's not an arrest. It's almost ignored, because obviously the stereotype of, the man is the abuser. This is an African-American man and a white woman. And it took getting over those stereotypes to finally get an arrest and a murder charge. And now the prosecution's going forward, and then to find out that they actually had possession illegally of his laptop. And if you look at some of these quotes of how we found anything useful to our case yet, there's no question they were, along with their attorneys, looking for evidence without communicating with the prosecutor. So it opens up yet another wound, and it won't close until they get justice and Courtney Clenny is found guilty.
Michael, as you were talking, we were playing the one clip that's really very much gone viral of the two individuals at the center of this case, Christian Obamseli, Courtney Clenny, in that elevator having a fight, and she is appearing very aggressive in the video and can be seen striking him. This was one of the videos most watched, the pushing, the hitting, as we see there. You also released another video. We have a clip of this, and we'll play it first, and then I would love for you to give our audience some context of it on the other side. Let's take a look.
Actually, done.
Okay, fine.
Done. Because you're costing me money. I didn't do because I got to this house because of you.
You let Vaughn say some line that.
No, because you flirting with like three girls the whole time.
What 3 girls?
Okay, Michael, give us some context, if you would, please. How close to Christian Obamseli's death did this incident happen?
Well, this was an incident in Aspen when they were in Aspen. And I will say, in the context of everything you've seen in this case, you know, you gather all the police reports, the 911 records, at the apartment where this happened, all prior to, this was prior to in Aspen, the elevator incident that actually happens at the Paraiso apartment. You can tell that this is absolute domestic violence, and it's important that the audience understand and everybody understands that domestic violence is not only perpetrated by men, it's perpetrated by women continually. And you can see who the aggressor is. All the police reports, the 6 to 8 times that the police came to this apartment building to respond. I mean, you think about it, when police come to a domestic violence incident, 80% of the time someone's arrested. And it is 79% of that is the male. And Christian Obamseli was never arrested. Courtney was only arrested once. And it's clear throughout the record. The defense keeps saying cherry picking. Hey, if there's cherry picking, show a video where Christian's being the aggressor. There's no such thing. He's the victim here. The only thing, unfortunately, that Christian was guilty of, if anybody could say, was having a big heart and trying to help her get through the problems that she had. Had he not done that, had he run, he'd probably be alive today. And that's not fair to anyone to try to, when they're trying to help someone in a relationship, and unfortunately paid the ultimate price for it.
It is just an awfully tragic case. Michael, looking at that video, we can tell that it was recorded by someone surreptitiously kind of sitting on the couch or a chair. You see a leg in the video, maybe it looks like a man's leg. Do you know who recorded it?
Our understanding is it's one of the OnlyFans video folks that follows around and produces it. We don't know exactly, but that's our understanding.
Okay. We have to leave it there as we are out of time for now. But as you know, Michael, and our audience knows, this is a very important case to us that we're continuing to follow. So please come back again on the show and share with us any more developments that you have. Attorney Michael Haggard, thank you.